Hello everyone, and welcome back to another lore-accurate Xenomorph build. We're continuing in chronological order of this series, now reaching Alien vs. Predator from 2004. The most titular Xenomorph from this film is the Grid Xenomorph, who's able to 1v1 not one, but two different Predators and come out victorious. So let's go ahead and get into immortalizing this awesome Xenomorph into a full build. First off, I wanted to have representation on how the Predator's cloaking device had no effect on the Grid, which Chopper finds out the hard way. For this, we used the Night Teachable Nowhere to Hide, which is whenever you kick a generator, you see the auras of all survivors within 24 meters for 5 seconds. This shows how the Grid could track Lex and the rest of the expedition throughout the pyramid, but also how the Predator's cloaking devices were absolutely useless. Next, we are covering one of the add-ons, that being Kane's Helmet, which is whenever you land a tail attack on a survivor, that survivor is now mangled for 70 seconds. This is here to showcase how Chopper is ruthlessly dealt away with when the Grid gives him the kiss of death with their second mouth. This is perfect since Kane's Helmet's art shows a helmet with one hole straight in the middle of it. Now, that was caused by a facehugger in the original Alien, but this is also what Chopper's helmet looked like after the Grid was done with him, so I thought it fit well enough. Next, we go to the Grid's first true fight, that being with Celtic. It is immediately evident that the Grid can take a lot of punishment, even a mighty Yautja is having a hard time putting them down. For this, I picked the Hillbilly Teachable Enduring, which lowers your pallet stun duration by 50%. Next, we go to our other add-on, that being Acidic Blood, which is after exiting Control Station, if you are stunned within the next 20 seconds, that stun will damage the survivor. If the survivor is already injured, that survivor enters the deep wound state instead. This is because Celtic is able to use their arm blade to cut off the Grid's tail, which Grid then very wisely uses as a weapon to try and spray acid all over the Predator. In the final part of the fight, Celtic uses their razor wire net gun to try and capture the Grid for a final blow. However, the razor wire cuts into Grid's head, giving it its iconic design, but also allowing its acidic blood to melt the wire and break free. For this, we use the Spirit Teachable Spirit Fury, which is after kicking 2 pallets, the next pallet that stuns you dissolves immediately. This is literally 1-to-1. The Predator tried to use a weapon to subdue the Xenomorph on its head, and it broke through it anyways. For our last perk, we instead go towards the end of the movie since the Grid is frankly barely in it outside of its strong opening showing. I went to the scene where the Grid and other Xenomorphs are commanded by the Queen to intentionally damage her and her metal restraints, so she could break free and help hunt down Lex and Scar, the final Yautja. For this, we picked the Clown Teachable Pop Goes the Weasel, which is after hooking a survivor, if you kick a generator within 45 seconds, that generator loses 20% of its current progress. I think this fits because the Grid successfully defeated 2 foes, and after that was able to break something that would be advantageous for it to break. Easy peasy.